think you're wonderful too. And you know, it's not life or death, by the way.
It's just truth or dare.
Yeah.
Weird things to say. Like, oh, this isn't real.
This is not
like,
life or death. It's just truth or dare. Which has no repercussions ever.
Yeah, that's a really great way to start a relationship. Okay, wait. So, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do this to you. Because this is an intense scene. Please discuss this scene. Like, you were such a trooper. Was it really awkward? Because I remember feeling like super awkward.
I mean, I feel like at a certain point it was just like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening. And I remember there was this one point where Katie was like right before we did this part of the scene, she was just like, I'm like straight. Where are you on all of this spectrum? And I was like, well, I'm not really entirely straight. And she's like, oh, so this is easier for you. And I was like, not really. This is still like,
that would be
we're
a fallacy.
being like we're still being like dropped into this. But she was like, so you can like relate to this. I was like, well, yes, but you know, it was
But
like
usually there isn't a whole film crew.
Usually there is not. And it was like a really small set. And
yeah.
I mean, we had like really minimized the group of people that was there. But I mean, you know, I had done like in the first season, I had like a kissing scene. And so I think I just was like, this is just like that, you know, or just like kind of getting into the really just like the moment and kind of ignoring everybody else, you know, and just kind of going in with like what the character was wanting. And but it definitely, I mean, like having to do it time after time because of takes, you know, it's like, it's so weird. It's like, it was a little weird. And I just remember it was like every time we would do it, it'd be like, okay, no, you guys gotta take off more clothes. Like, it's gotta go faster. Like, we gotta like.
Yeah, and also figuring out the blocking was super difficult too.
Yeah. And I know that there was like, it was just, I think like, because there's some like sexual suggestions in this scene that were like, that I feel like we kind of discovered as we did it, you know, like, you know, where I like fall on my back and like she like kind of disappears out of frame and like we're like, I don't know what's happening. But that whole bit was like, you know, like it seemed, I think it was really like because everybody there was so supportive and everyone was really like in it to like capture the moment, capture these characters. I didn't really feel like awkward at all. I never felt like
that's good.
This is really uncomfortable for me. It was like a very comfortable environment, and like Katie was great. Like working with her was awesome, and like right afterwards, you know, I think like George was a PA that day, and he like was off in the corner like during this part. You were like, okay, let's send off George because like he knows them, so this is weird. So then like afterwards, he was like, so how'd it go? And I was like, it went well. Thanks for asking, George. Like. It was pretty funny.
No, I think it turned out really, really well. But I do remember being like so nervous and like wanting to do a really good job, and then being like really afraid that I was going to do a bad job. And then it's like always really awkward when you're like, okay, guys, I'm going to ask you to kiss, and I'm going to film it, but I'm not a voyeur, okay? Like,
or like when you'd be like, all right, like. More intense. You would be like, because you were like so hesitant to say it because you didn't want to like.
Yeah.
But we were like, all right, Otessa, like we understand, like we will give that to you. And you were like, thanks. Like I'm sorry, I just need it for the show.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't know if I'm ever gonna really get 100% comfortable with is like directing like scenes of intimacy. Yeah, it's like always I'm like, oh God, guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you to kiss for me. Just never gonna be one of those sentences that just like rolls off my tongue.
Or like, I need you to move your face a little, like kiss this way so the camera can get this angle, you know?
Yeah, all of that stuff. Oh man. Anyways, yeah, no, you guys were really, really lovely about this, and I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, me too.